welcome to this edition of News Leader on 6. I'm Jim Fuller. In tonight's news, we'll hear from Bedford County's EMA director. State parks are reopening for day use, and the governor reiterates his plan for long-term care facilities. We'll have all these stories and more on tonight's News Leader on 6.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. Get to Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
You made the time and the sacrifice to broaden their horizons, to see their smiles, but mostly to make lifelong memories. We think it's time to do it again, just the two of you. Don't let illness or injury slow you down. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails. Tune in to Let's Talk Antiques for the only locally produced antique show in the area. Every week, David, Ronnie, Philip, and Howard bring you new topics about how to maximize your investments in collectibles. Whether that's Star Wars toys or cowboy movie posters, they cover it all. Show founder David Pennington has been featured on the History Channel's American Pickers and is well known for his knowledge of Coca-Cola memorabilia, vintage gas pumps, and all things cowboy related. That's Let's Talk Antiques, live Wednesdays at 9 a.m. on WMSR Radio, or watch our video replays on P-Head's Charter Channel 193, LightTube's Channel 6, or on our Facebook and YouTube channels. There's always a new find on Let's Talk Antiques.
Welcome back. News Leader's Marilyn Ewing spoke with Scott Johnson, Bedford County Emergency Management Agency Director and Chair of the Bedford County COVID-19 Task Force, about what Shelbyville and Bedford County is doing to try to manage the COVID-19 pandemic.
When this first started really kind of hitting here in Tennessee, and it looked like we were going to have a pandemic here ourselves, that was probably over a month ago now. We sat down and kind of brainstormed how to best deal when you got 50,000 people in a county with a lot of different sectors. Mm-hmm. And we came up with, and Mayor Graham called each one of these individuals to break down the task force itself for COVID-19 into sectors. For example, there's the business sector mm-hmm. that deals with the factories, that deals with the small businesses. And he asked the Chamber CEO, Alan Pittner, to honcho that, and Alan's been doing a great job of contacting factories and getting out information to businesses. Good. And their Facebook page talks about who's open and what they're doing. Yeah. There's also the education sector, which has been impacted, and Don Embry, the Bedford County School Superintendent, has been working with that, and mm-hmm. we've been dealing with Web School and some of the other folks mm-hmm. as well. The healthcare sector of that task force is being chaired by Bill Rich, who's the CEO at Tenova Hospital. Yes. He helps us work with not just the hospital, but with the assisted living facilities, the nursing homes, the home health folks. Bill's been doing a great job with that. In the public safety community, we're kind of geared for emergencies, but we still needed a chairman, and Sheriff Austin Swing has been chairing that and doing a great job, and that involves all the city and county mm-hmm. public safety agencies. We also have the faith-based communities. Churches play an important part in this. Yes. You know, we're highly, of course, encouraging churches not to have in-service yes. meetings because they have at-risk folks, mm-hmm. older folks in their congregations. Mm-hmm. Pastor Jimmy West, who's the current chairman of the Ministerial Association in Bedford County, has been doing that, and Pastor West has really been doing a good yes. job dealing with the faith-based communities as well. So let's see if we left anybody out.
One more.
We did. I left my boss out. Executive government. Yes. There's an executive government sector, and Mayor Chad Graham is the chairman of that, and that involves all the city and the town and the county mayor. So all the mayors get together basically, and they've all been working really well together to do this. So that was just set up because it's such a big thing that's going on, and each one of those chairmen are dealing with their particular sectors and working with Mayor Graham and I on that.
Churches are choosing to try to maybe have an outdoor service, a drive-up service and that type of thing. And I understand that, Scott, you are really not in favor of doing that. So.
And churches under the governor's order can do whatever they want to do, basically. Okay. But we are discouraging that because what happens, even with the ones in the parking lot sometimes, is kids are in there and they have to get out, or somebody needs to go to the bathroom, or that sort of thing. So it's just, I know it's tough in the faith-based communities. I know my church is not having in-church services right now. It's a tough thing to do for folks. But churches in some states of how this has been spread, and there's documented proof of that. And we just need to protect our church congregations, especially our elderly people that attend those. And even though it's safer to do it in a parking lot or it's just, there's too much opportunity for folks to get out and socialize and that sort of thing. And that's why we're really asking our folks in our faith-based community to still refrain from that. And the vast majority of churches in Bedford County are doing that.
Right. It was a little interesting to me to see what is essential and what's non-essential.
It's pages.
Yes. But was this set up to where you think it's okay?
It's open to interpretation in many cases. And the mayor, Bedford County Mayor Chad Graham, set up a hotline, and so folks can call in, and his staff has been dealing with that, and we usually help with the interpretations there, or we contact the state.
Gotcha.
In most cases, it's fairly clear-cut. You can't have a restaurant sit-down meals.
Right.
You can't go to the barber shop right now.
Right.
It's as long as my hair has been since before I was in the military. You can't do things like that. Those are fairly clear. You can go to the grocery store. They can remain open and that sort of thing. But there's been some interpretations that had to happen. So fortunately here locally, as far as an enforcement perspective, because there is a state law which is under TCA Code Annotated 58-2-120, where law enforcement can enforce these executive orders. But we've been lucky here because the police department and sheriff's department had to go to a few businesses, but they just talk to them about it and show them a copy of the order. Quite frankly, everybody's complied that they've talked to.
Good.
So I don't think it's been that way necessarily in Nashville, but there's so many more businesses there. The community here has really come together on that. We appreciate. I know it's a huge financial impact for our small businesses, but there's a reason we're doing this. And the reason the governor has done this, you've got to distance and stay apart and isolate.
Tullahoma City Administrator Jennifer Moody recently updated us about the new police station under construction and how Tullahoma's budget planning is coming along.
I was able to give the board an update on our police project. We're constructing a new police building, and they're making great progress, even though they have had some delays due to the rain. Yeah, when they look at their project schedule, they did include some expectation for rain delays. I think at this point, they're optimistic that they can catch up, and so far have not asked for any kind of extension to the project schedule. We still expect it to be open before the end of this calendar year. Yes, the new building is exactly double the space that they're in today. So from 5,000 square feet, they're going to just over 10,000 square feet. We're just trying to get our arms around preparing for the budget. This is the time of year when we're typically holding our budget study sessions and making projections for next year. In light of recent events, we're really just focused on ending our current year well, and it's very difficult to predict what's going to happen next year. So that's one of the big changes, is that you're going to see most of our budget activity has been pushed into May, and we're sort of just holding off as long as we can to watch our revenues and see what happens with revenues. I feel like, very fortunate in Coffee County. I don't think that we're feeling some of the worst impacts of this, but all that being said, we don't know when we're going to be able to relax and reopen everything. So I think the longer it drags on, the more concerned I am. But right now I'm feeling optimistic. Let's get through the end of April and see where we're at. And if everybody just continues to do what they know to do, stay apart, stay home as often as possible, wear a mask, wash your hands frequently, all those things, I think we can keep the virus from spreading here and not have some of those worst significant impacts.
Stay with us. We'll be right back after these messages.
When your family suffers the loss of a loved one, the caring and compassionate staff at Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel are standing by to assist you in every way possible. We are proud to support local industry and offer only Batesville caskets. Many funeral homes don't own or operate a crematory. We utilize the only crematory in Coffee County. Your loved one never leaves Coffee County. We can accommodate any need and any budget. Consider our complete pre-need service to remove this burden from your family during their time of grief. Lock in today's low costs and protect from inflation. Tullahoma Funeral Home and Coffee County Funeral Chapel. Our family caring for your family.
He's a little bit of you, he's a little bit of me. He's the trash along the roadside of Tennessee. He's the garbage that we find. He's the dream we left behind. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash. A throwaway bottle or pop top can may not seem much to a traveling man, but a little bit of litter goes a long, long way. And I grow and get bigger every day. Tennessee trash messing up the highways. Tennessee trash jogging up the byways. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash.
We have met the enemy, and he is us.
The highest standard of integrity delivers stability and honor. It's established over time. You know when you see it. You know when you feel it. There's a standard of integrity in healthcare. It's the Joint Commission Gold Seal of Approval. In 2003, Life Care Center of Tullahoma voluntarily achieved this accreditation and maintains it still today. Life Care, meeting a higher standard because residents matter most.
Welcome back. On Wednesday, Tennessee's COVID-19 Unified Command Group released new data on COVID-19 in the state's long-term care facilities and outlined its action plan on how to prevent further cases and mitigate existing clusters within these facilities. We go now to Governor Bill Lee's press briefing, where he and Tennessee Department of Health Commissioner Dr. Lacey Piercy addressed this important issue.
Today, Tennessee's COVID-19 Unified Command Group released new data on COVID and the state's long-term care facilities and outlined an action plan on how to prevent further cases and to mitigate existing clusters within these facilities. Starting today, the Department of Health will report the number of confirmed cases and COVID-19 related fatalities in all long-term care facilities across the state. I'd like to ask Dr. Piercy to come up and give further information about this as we work in particular to ensure the safety of our most vulnerable, the elderly, and our efforts to do so in our long-term care facilities. Dr. Piercy.
The primary step in the entire response is what we consider mitigation, and that involves an infection preventionist as well as contact tracers and epidemiologists calling and going into the facility when appropriate within hours of notification and doing an extensive survey of the facility, of all of the movement patterns and all of the infection control measures in the facility, and as well as guidance on what they can do to cohort patients or put them together so they don't put any additional residents at risk. That process goes on, and it goes on for a long time on a daily basis, usually between the facility and their local health department, but also central office or other experts as needed. That continued guidance is given until the outbreak is considered resolved. What is resolved? That is when 2 full incubation periods have passed and there have been no new outbreaks. or no new infections. So for COVID-19, that's 28 days. And so that's a long time to go with these nursing homes and other long-term care facilities to make sure that they get the help that they need. The data that we released today is new. The process is not new, but the data is new. And as the governor mentioned, there are 22 facilities in Tennessee that have noted positive cases. There have been a total of 375 confirmed cases statewide and a total of 37 deaths. That's 37 too many. And we want to do everything we can to continue educating and guiding and supporting facilities to not only prevent but also to mitigate this horrible disease when it gets into this vulnerable population. Overall, our primary objective is to care for the patients and make sure they are cared in the safest environment, and we provide all the support that we can. And so through this new release that we put out today, we want to make sure that the public is educated on what that process is, and so facilities know exactly what to expect when they have a case.
Thank you, Dr. Piercy. And we do know that our most vulnerable population is the elderly. And we want to remind folks that that is one of the reasons that each one of us has to continue to be vigilant in our efforts, because that population is counting on us to do that, and we will continue to reiterate the importance. As we reopen and as we move into a new phase of this pandemic, those social distancing practices are a part of the way that we can protect the elderly here in Tennessee.
More news is coming up in a moment.
I'm Philip Bourne, Stanley Knapp Detail Shop Manager. Here are a few things our customers have to say about our service.
What I love most about the Stan McNabb Detail Shop is there's someone local that I can trust to pick up my car, have it cleaned, and deliver it back to me in showroom condition.
What really amazed me is when he opened the hood and looked like he had taken the old engine out and put a new engine inside.
We have several different packages and individual services to get your vehicle looking like new again. We're located just behind Stan McNabb Chevrolet dealership. Call today, schedule an appointment, and see what a difference our detail can make.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
Get your news first, fast, and free with your news leader on 6 every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday nights at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. Local weather, sports, community calendar events, and a comprehensive look at the latest news stories and news makers as only a video news broadcast can do. Get it first, fast, and free with News Leader on Channel 6, your local information network.
Welcome back. Tennessee State Parks will reopen most of its 56 state parks on Friday, April 24th for day use only. Specific details on which parks will reopen will be available on tnstateparks.com this week. Jim Bryson, Deputy Commissioner of the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation, said, quote, "We are eager to serve once again, but we urge Tennesseans to continue to practice physical distancing when visiting parks. We have implemented policies designed to prevent the spread of COVID-19, and we will monitor all aspects of the issue to ensure safety among visitors and staff," end quote. Old Stone Fort in Manchester is one of the parks slated to reopen. State Parks Department urges residents to considering a visit to follow these guidelines. Stay at home if you are sick and or do not feel well. Maintain at least 6 foot of distance between you and other visitors. Visit parks that are only a short distance from your home. Consider visiting early in the day so you can adjust plans if a park is full. Tennessee State Parks may limit access to certain parks or areas if capacity is reached. Many Tennessee State Park buildings will be closed, so plan to bring your own snacks, water, and hand sanitizers. Prepare for limited or no bathroom access. Some restrooms remain open, but many will not. Consider bringing a mask and wearing it when around other people. Carry your trash with you or dispose of it in the appropriate containers to help keep our cleaning staff safe and our parks litter-free. Overcrowding may cause entire parks or portions of parks to close again. Facilities and gathering areas, including pavilions and playgrounds, will remain closed. Cabins, lodges, restaurants, campgrounds, and group camps remain closed. For up-to-date information on park closure, please visit www.tnstateparks.com. We'll be right back and with more News Leader.
Here at Manchester Funeral Home, we know the importance of living and working in our local community because it's those families who we serve during their time of need honorably. We believe in supporting local business and offer only 100% Batesville caskets, the best in the industry and a driver of our local economy. If you want straightforward and fair pricing while working with the people you know, choose Manchester Funeral Home, serving your community since 1932. And pre-planning and pre-funding can be the best gift you ever leave your loved ones. Call us to pre-arrange. Manchester Funeral Home. Our family, caring for your family since 1932.
My great-grandfather started it in 1900, and now it's 2020, which is 120 years. We still measure your feet, still try to help you find a good fit. We're just a good old-fashioned shoe store where we'll measure your feet, make sure you're in the right size, and help you find a comfortable shoe for men, women, and children.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
Since the moment you were born, I've made 1,000 wishes. Wishes for your future in a world that's changing fast. Do play and laugh. Do win and lose. Do it all with confidence, kindness, and strength. And always do your best to remember that no matter what you do in this life, what matters to me is that you keep doing.
At the time, maybe you were just building a bridge, a business, or a community. Maybe you were simply working for a home or a better tomorrow. At the time, you served out of duty and love of country. But in that time, we see a legacy created, an American dream lived. Don't let illness or injury slow you down. The rehab team at Life Care Center of Tullahoma is ready to help you live well.
Welcome back. The Tullahoma Police Department is asking for the public's help in getting information about 2 burglaries that occurred in the early morning hours of Sunday, April the 19th. The burglaries were to Crystal Restaurant and Jackson Street Market on North Jackson Street. The subjects gained entry into each of the businesses by breaking the glass doors. 3 subjects were seen entering each business. The suspects were observed taking a small amount of cash in the Crystal Restaurant burglary. In the Jackson Street Market burglary, a small amount of cash, cigarettes, and electronic cigarettes were taken. The suspects may attempt to sell some of those items, so if anyone has any information regarding those burglaries, they are encouraged to contact Tullahoma Police Department Detective Johnny Gore at 931-455-0530. As of Wednesday, April the 22nd, there has been 7,842 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Tennessee. There are 4,012 patients classified as recovered, leaving 3,830 active cases. There have been 166 confirmed deaths and 775 hospitalizations. In total, 114,980 tests have been performed across Tennessee. In Coffee County, there are 23 total cases as of Wednesday, with 9 patients recovered. That leaves 14 active cases. There have been 726 negative tests performed in Coffee County. Stay with us. Your weather forecast is coming up next.
Here at Stan McNabb Collision Center, we work with all major insurance companies, and we get the job done right the first time, on time.
Well, I grew up in Tullahoma. We'd always done business with Stan McNabb, so when we needed collision service after a run-in with a deer, we knew to call those guys. We already had trust with them. We called Cody. He took great care of us. He kept us posted every step of the way, and we couldn't have been more pleased.
Getting your vehicle back to pre-loss condition shouldn't be a headache. So in event of an accident, contact me, Cody Hall, at Stan McNabb Collision Center.
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's gonna be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor too when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
My wife Jackie has always been the life of the party, but things changed when she couldn't be as active anymore.
They told me I needed a double knee replacement.
It's not as big a deal as it used to be, but she still needed to go to rehab.
I was amazed at how good the therapists were at Life Care. They took really good care of me.
They took excellent care of her, and now she's back doing the things she loves, and that makes everyone happy.
Life Care Center of Tullahoma wants you to get active and live well.
Smoking tobacco accounts for 3 of every 10 fire deaths in the United States.
Tullahoma Fire Department, need you en route to a structure fire, 202 Main Street, heavy smoke showing. Neighbors advise child trapped inside.
Lighters, matches, and associated smoking paraphernalia are the leading cause of preschooler fire deaths. We as firefighters know that most structure fires can be prevented.
I've got one! Command, this is primary search. We have a victim. Need EMS to meet us at the front door.
Please help us to give you a fighting chance. This can be prevented. Contact the Tullahoma Fire Department for a free home safety inspection.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this day. Our record high was in 1980 at 87 degrees. The record low was in 1986 at 29 degrees. The average high on this day is 72 and the average low is 48. Storms in the forecast for tonight with a low of 54. Showers expected in the mornings hours of Friday with a high of 72 and a low of 44. Thunderstorms on tap for Saturday with a high of 66 and a low of 49. And that's our news leader report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6, 8, and 10 for News Leader on 6. You have a good evening.